Hey, everybody. Welcome to the deep dive on Landman that nobody asked for. And we fucked up last week and didn't get an episode done. So we're going to try to back it on this week. Hopefully we'll get it all covered or we'll just all mess it up. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about talking about these two episodes. A lot of cool stuff. But Gates, why don't you kick us off?
Starting off with the hunting scene in episode 3, we had the guys and everybody kind of knew what was about to go down. I think that was watching that has any experience out in the oil field, and watching that scene, I've never actually been out on a location when somebody has gotten H2S exposure or poisoning. But it seemed to me a little odd that that guy starts coughing and falls down, and all of a sudden everybody gets up and runs over there and they all fall down and everybody's just instantly dead. And then we move on to the crew going out to look at the well, and, you know, the guy yelling about there's the tank over there and all of that. I know H2S is a huge, very serious issue in our industry and a byproduct of producing oil and gas. And so I think it's great that they kind of clued that in a little bit, but I think it may have been a little exaggerated and not fully explained what was going on to anybody that doesn't have experience in the industry.
Matt, you or Boar, fill out some more stuff, because I've been out there and heard stories about H2S. One, it is that deadly, and two, they always said if the alarm starts going off, you run into the wind, so that way the wind is blowing the H2S away. But I don't know much more than that. How realistic was that scene?
I don't know. I think generally it's very deadly. I think generally it was probably fairly accurate, but I don't have a lot of experience with. I've never been on location, dealt with H2S, and had the monitors and that sort of thing. But from my understanding, it's definitely a serious issue, especially if you got winds going. So Chuck, I think what you said is probably pretty accurate. I do think that we didn't spend any time talking about the fact that those guys were out there hunting boar.
The bastards.
At the start.
They got what they fucking deserved.
They couldn't get them.
That was the boar magic coming for them. I'm the same way. I don't have a lot of experience with H2S, but I've heard that same thing, Chuck, run into the wind. But I've gone out to I don't know how many different wells, and I don't know, fence hop to take a look at meters and seeing if a well's still producing to see if the lease is still good. And I kind of feel like a fucking idiot now, because I'm going, God almighty, could I have kicked that fast if some shit ass operator had some H2S? I mean, I suppose that could have happened to me. I mean, not to make it about me here, but it's certainly kind of looking at my younger years like, God almighty, you fucking idiot, thinking about that in West Texas. Jeez.
I've been on a lot of well sites over my years, and I never had an H2S monitor out there or anything. Right. And, I just never really even thought about it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Again, this is one of those things where it happens in the industry, but of course Taylor Sheridan's going to highlight it and make sure the body count is through the roof, because we got to have people dying on every episode.
Every fucking episode. I'm jumping around a little bit, but I mean, it's every episode something. There's like a death in the company, which is becoming way too unrealistic, because a company their size couldn't get insurance and that many accidents and deaths to happen does not happen. And if it does, you're fucked. I mean, you're not operating anymore.
It's not as bad as last season, though. Last season, that body count was getting up there.
M-Tex is like M-Death.
I think we talked about that last season too, and how it kind of painted an unfair picture of what the safety standards are in the industry, because they are very heightened, to the point that these type of things would shut down a company for some period of time. So yeah, let's maybe credit that to drama, but I think that's a pretty unfair depiction of the industry as it stands.
I don't know. Joshua Pollard has suffered many tragic deaths in the oil industry over his,
JP.
80 decades in the industry.
I mean, we are a very risky industry. We do take safety very, very seriously, but we are not Bonnie Blue. We do not, it's not 1,000 dudes in 24 hours. It's just not. It's just not.
Most of the deaths in the oil industry are a result of some sort of negligence, not necessarily by the person who actually perished. A lot of times it was somebody that was not taking care of their job with equipment and things like that. And so the show definitely does add the risk element, and I think it's going to ramp up a little bit more the second we start doing some offshore drilling.
Yeah, no, that's going to get crazy. Okay, but real quick, since we jumped into the scene about H2S, we did kind of pass over Billy Bob Thornton and the wife being in the car, the attempt at a blowjob, it not happening, and Billy Bob getting off my all-time favorite line in this episode. No talking for at least an hour after a botched blowjob. My head's so fucked up, I don't know what I'm doing.
I love that Rebecca was still on the phone for that line too.
That was so great. The lawyer. I
was really disappointed though.
That state trooper getting on the loudspeaker, I could write you a citation.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. So, okay, I've decided, and this is like combining episodes. After episode 4, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I really like Maria. Maria is starting. I think she and Cooper have the sexual tension of McNeil and Lair. I mean, it's bad, but I really like Maria, and but I don't get this whole thing of her going to work in the patch at the bar.
Ariana, or is her name Maria or Ariana?
Yeah, you're right. It's Ariana Medina. So yeah,
that's the first time Chuck's ever forgotten a woman's name.
Exactly. Actually, I have a great story. I'll tell you. I was out with the Montrose Lane guys getting drinks, and we bumped into this beautiful girl, and I was 2 margaritas in, so that is prime Chuck. I had my mojo with me. I went and hit on her, and she was falling for my BS that night, and everything was going. I drove her back to the hotel, and I thought I'm getting my invite upstairs. And so I'm like about to hand the keys to the valet. She leans in, whispers in my ear, tell me my name and you can come upstairs. And I went, shit, I forgot. She
Did you try to guess?
She said, I didn't even guess. I was just like, damn it, I forgot. And she was like, well, better luck next time, cowboy. So
that's what you should have written her name. You gotta like next time write her name on your like hand and like a
exact cheat sheet. Exactly. All right, Matt. What do you think about Ariana going to work in the patch? I mean, she just got $1 million settlement, right?
Yeah, but for some reason she's got to keep working, right? I don't know. I thought that was a decent ad. I mean, I don't know what sort of background she has outside of being able to be a bartender, but I mean, I think anyone, whether you're a GED or lack a high school diploma or anything may take up working from behind the bar there. Although working from behind the bar in the Permian may be more dangerous than taking a field job. So there is that one component to it, but the dollars seem pretty lucrative. So,
Yeah, I
any,
think the strippers do real well out there too.
Yeah, no, that was there was some good line about the patch is the Super Bowl of tips, I think was the line. So, all right. So the other kind of woman thing we have going on in this episode that we got to talk about at least a little bit is Billy Bob Thornton's wife, Allie Larter. She wants the big house in Fort Worth.
Yeah, she's just unrealistic. And I mean, the house is so the company is like struggling like never before. No one can figure out where any money is to pay for anything. And, I guess Billy Bob is a man of few words when it comes to things like that. So he doesn't tell her like things are not good, but she's out trying to buy a multi-million-dollar house and doesn't give a shit. She's just like a child. Although she has a big heart, she wants to take care of everyone all the time, but it's pretty ridiculous. Those houses are badass.
Yeah, no, that I do like it.
Maybe he can end up in Monty's house, since it's going up on the market.
They could all just live together. TL and Cammy and Angela and Cooper
and Andy
Andy
Garcia.
Garcia.
He's coming.
He'll tunnel his way in.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So Matt, be finance bro here. How realistic is it that Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are loaning money for the operating expenses of all these companies, and the revenue is all going to some holdco and disappearing?
I mean, I think it's always, even in an uncomplicated situation, it's always complicated, it seems like, in this industry. So, when they started talking about that and how they had the holdco and the revenue was going to this other place and that, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's usually, especially this day and age, after multiple ups and downs, that's fairly unrealistic, I think, in terms of what's going on. But hey, let's go back to late 2000s, 2000, or early 2000 up through 2015, or maybe 2013. Like,
an opportunity was missed to tie in Arthur Anderson. They very easily could have explained all of this with just, hey, the accounting firm is a bunch of guys that came out of Arthur Anderson, would have tied everything up with a nice little Enron colored bow.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is if you made partner at Arthur Anderson, you basically borrowed your buy-in for the partnership from Arthur Anderson. And so people that became partner and a year later, Arthur Anderson's tits up because of the whole Enron debacle, those guys still owed the partnership that money. That was not an obligation that got dismissed under bankruptcy. It was an asset of Arthur Anderson. So I know people that actually had to pay that thing off and go get another job to do it.
That's brutal.
Yeah, that was horrible. But, the other thing, too, about those lines of credit, like the investment banks will give you lines of credit, but they do it against publicly traded stock, So if you're CEO of company X and it's publicly traded and you have stock, they'll give you Reg U loans, and that's where the money comes. I've never seen Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley actually make a loan to an operating company.
Well, they did with Kate Richards, Warwick. She got like $1 billion out of Goldman, but that's where she came out of, in New York City.
Oh, really?
Her husband's a vampire.
Don't get me. Look, all right. One thing I thought was interesting is they said on the offshores that and the guy that's getting beat up in the club, the lawyer Allen, everybody's trying to figure out where the money is, which we still don't know, and he's like, the offshore accounts that flow into private equity. That was one of the things he kind of said. It was kind of trailing off as
An offshore drilling company out of Nassau
that flows into private equity. What the fuck is going on? I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll, this could be one of those things that they're just kind of throwing around terms like they didn't do enough research or not, or it all comes together when they finally have that meeting with Alan that they talk about. Like Monday, they're going to Tommy's office or whatever. Where the fuck is Tommy's office, by the way? Is it in Fort Worth or is it in Midland?
I think it's the living room in the rent house.
That's what it seems to me. And I guess they're going to get this Alan guy to drive to that living room and hang out with Ainsley and Angela and whatever. I don't know.
Well, I'm excited for the Wall Street Journal to start calling all of us, asking for interviews to talk about private equity outflows from offshore drilling companies based in Nassau, because I am 100% going to just give them the exact story they want and hope they print it.
You guys
perfect. Like, hey, my partner's headed to the Bahamas to go collect our offshore earnings,
Just what I need. My name in the Wall Street Journal again with offshore private equity accounts. I will say this though: when Billy Bob Thornton busts into that club to basically crack the bottle over the lawyer's head to shake him up. I love his rat-a-tat with the guy Bob that's like the waiter, except that's not his name.
Bonner.
Bonner. It's kind of like, well, I'm just going to call you Bob. And by the way, Bob, this is what clubs are for. Nobody wants to be throwing shit at your attorney in a restaurant in front of people.
He said, Bonner, that sounds like a fucking beach town.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody likes the tattletale, Bob.
I'm just coughing up a lung over here.
Perfect.
That guy recovered from that bottle pretty quick. I was surprised. He must be working out and doing a lot of like CrossFit or, Brazilian jiu-jitsu or some shit like that, because man, if somebody cracks a bottle over my head, I'm not going to be standing like that.
Well, you know what it is? It's probably because he's a big time lawyer making $1,500 an hour or whatever, so he's going to bill him for it. So pop back up.
He's motivated.
So Matt, give me your take on Andy Garcia and the wives and kind of doing that whole scene where they wind up having drinks, and then give me the warden's take on it.
We got two scenes where that kind of happens, right? On both episodes, where it's really just the end of the first or end of, is it episode 3?
Episode 3.
And then we've got the situation where it was Demi and the two of them in episode 4. So, I mean, it seems like that's a curated effort that he has on his part in order to be able to not only work the male side of thing, but the female side of business too. So it seems to work to their benefit a good bit, and definitely worked in their favor in episode 3, because as we saw in 4, basically he was like, we got a deal, but I want to talk to Tommy about this, so I think there's a husband and wife duo that's really working to try and facilitate a business relationship more so than anything else, it seems like.
Was I reading too much into it? But it kind of felt like everybody having drinks edged Tommy a little bit towards Andy Garcia, where, definitely time zero, Billy Bob's like, you let my son borrow that money just so that he would fuck up, and you think I would owe you, and blah blah blah. Started calling each other bad names and stuff, but it did seem like, okay, maybe there's a deal that's going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always, I guess, an example in business. Maybe not, well, probably as much in oil and gas, but go grab some drinks, or go meet in person, face to face, to talk something out. I'm sure the drinks were definitely beneficial in that part of it. But Yeah, there's a whole ploy there by Andy Garcia in terms of what's going on, but I think he's playing it well.
That was interesting that he was screaming at Tommy in his office about that thing that I saved you from could happen again at any moment. And we all thought he was saving Tommy because that was like, hey, you guys shouldn't be doing this. I didn't realize that that was a move to further get his hooks into MTEX and everything that Tommy was doing at the time last season.
Yeah, it appears that that's what they're moving this towards, that it was all premeditated. But man, I mean, Andy Garcia, they're sure making him Danny Morell, I guess. They're making him sure making him seem like a good dude, aren't they? Like a warm, just there for you kind of guy, offers you a hell of a deal. I mean, if they twist him into being the bad guy that he is, it's going to be a weird twist because he's taking such a like fatherly, grandfatherly tone on all this, being so kind to everyone, got the sweetest wife. And, I got caught up in a Ponzi scheme when I was like 19, and it was a husband and wife duo. Okay. I had a small life insurance policy that I got from my dad. Nothing. This guy took it all, ended up back at zero. And it was a husband and wife duo. And he was like, totally got my wife and my girlfriend at the time, who was I was living with, and I all, wrapped up together, and it seemed like it couldn't go wrong. And I guess con people, or people that are deleterious in their motives, are just really good at it. But gosh, they sure are making Andy Garcia seem like a good dude in this.
Reminds me of Christmas Vacation when he's like walking through the store with Clark and Cousin Eddie, and he's like, if only we had that money back from that preacher we gave that money to on the TV out of Florida. And he goes, well, what about the kids? And he goes, well, I don't give a shit about his kids. They can fend for themselves.
It's a great scene.
That's awesome. I hate to do this because we've been warned about the sexual innuendo in this podcast. But the close of episode 3, when they're in the car together and they have this little fight, but then, oh, you're calling me your wife. Oh, I love you so much. And so she does give him the blowjob. Billy Bob's line of, hey, sweetie, it's a popsicle, not a snow cone.
Yeah, and I mean, he didn't even propose to her. She was like, if you're asking me, she's like, yes, fuck yes. He's like, what happened?
So yeah, no, I thought, and so let's jump to episode 4. I will say this, like, big picture, I don't even think episode 4 had anything to do with the oil and gas business. It was just a human drama story. And I think it was as good human drama as I've seen on TV in a long time. I mean, I think Billy Bob Thornton telling the story of his mom and the dad telling the story about that. I thought that was really good stuff, and kind of actually added some clarity to the characters and who they are. I really liked it.
Cooper not taking that stupid hat off irritated the fuck out of me and distracted me from that entire scene.
Agreed.
Yeah, you don't wear a hat to a funeral.
But to Chuck's point, I looking back, I think I looked at that episode and I said, there's a lot of dead space. Like, I feel like we just didn't get a lot of plot development. It was slow, but then when I took some time and looked back, those time periods where you thought you had dead space were actually pretty good, material type scenes, and there was solid engagement in them.
At least there wasn't any lawnmower montage. I appreciate that. But also, Rebecca's deal on the plane, that was fun to watch her get hammered on watermelon vodka. But do you think she's developing maybe a little love interest with her, oil field bro on the plane?
The Australian rig hand. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed Rebecca more than I thought I ever would. Like, she came alive a little bit. She showed a soul. She got scared for once, and she got drunk and banged that dude. And at least she's showing a life. God,
More importantly, she showed her butt. We got to see her butt. I froze on that scene for a while.
man, it was worth it.
I figured you guys, Gates completely stole thunder out of Chuck. Chuck had that like big and bold in his list of things to discuss. So we took that from him. But I will say, like the drama came strong with the 70 mile per hour headwinds and just the the ridiculous nature of things on the airplane were just hilarious.
That jet took off in like 80 feet, which is really fucking impressive.
It was like Elon Musk's rocket. Whose plane is that? What the fuck is going on with this plane? Like, it's a private jet that's taking randos out there. Did someone pick up on? It's not JSX.
I think it's a company plane.
It's Ben Holiday's flight to Midland that we're going to be doing next year.
Wow, yeah, that was good. But I will say this though, I did love, and we've kind of already talked about it and touched on it, but I loved Andy Garcia and Demi Moore having lunch and her asking to do a deal and financing it. And his whole metaphor of snakes being cannibals and that snakes only deal with snakes. And I loved how he said, I can't do a deal with you. It's not because you're a woman. It's because you're not a snake. I did like that. So he's roping it back into Tommy.
Yeah, it totally. And, Tommy, for some reason or another, shared with Cammy that this guy's a drug lord. It seems like that would have been one of the first things I told her. Maybe even like as she's approaching the table, hey, this guy's a big ass drug lord. Go ahead, have a seat.
It doesn't seem like there's very much communication going on between Tommy and Cammy so far in this season.
Yes.
I think that's probably fair. Do you think he's trying to shield her? Or what do you think's going on with that?
I haven't quite figured that out yet. I know that Cammy wants to try to make her own way and not defer everything over to Tommy, but he's certainly not communicating well with her either. So I don't know. Whenever you have the chain of command communication breakdown, drama is going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, totally.
So, hey, Matt, one other scene I want to make sure we talk about before we wrap up is I actually kind of like Demi Moore going out to see Monty or John Hamm's grave. I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, that was a good scene. I mean, when she took a bottle of, I don't drink anymore, but bottle of Pappy and just poured it out. And I was like,
$2,000 bottle.
Bringing Monty back in the picture. I mean, I do think there are some scenes that are a little bit, as she's remembering things where she's laying in bed and, pretending he's there, or she's at the end of that second episode where she's like, in the backyard just crying like by the pool, missing Monty. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have much more to say about it other than that. You're poking at something else there to cover. But
what was Monty doing with all of the money? What do y'all think? I have no idea.
What money?
That seems to be where the drama is going to come in. I mean, one of the many drama points, but kind of the twist drama is where the money was, where it was going, why it was offshore. I mean, they had good revenue. Monty's talked about it being $1 billion a year revenue company. And so there is revenue, but where the hell is it going? And then a thing that's confusing is they talk about a probate judge potentially sending all of this to an IRS auditor. Is that something that happens? I don't know that I've seen that exactly in the probate process.
That's estate stuff. I mean, Monty died, and so his will, the IRS is going to come look at that estate. I mean, if you're as rich as Monty is, and so I think that's where it is. It's not so much an oil and gas thing as a rich guy dying thing.
Well, it sounds like Monty wasn't that rich, actually.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, they say it's in that offshore account. Maybe. I mean, we're going to find that out.
And the weird thing is, why would the lawyer be hiding it?
If the offshore account flowed into private equity, that money's gone.
Right.
That money got pumped down a hole in Guyana or something.
Yeah, that's right. And making those hurdles.
And it's weird that the lawyer wouldn't fess up to where it is. That's another thing. So
that's it. He's avoiding the calls. They've been calling. He wouldn't just say where it was, and they've been calling him for days. Why would he be avoiding it? Like there's something going on there.
He's been avoiding it, but also said, "I thought we would meet when y'all are ready to talk." Like we've been calling you, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we got a lot to do. All right. So, final thought, whatever you want in terms of kind of a takeoff. I'll just run around the loop, or give us a final thought or something.
My final thought is that Rebecca has kind of done a 180 in my mind. Like I not totally. She can't redeem herself. She's kind of awful, but she's showing life. And Ariana, whoa. Sorry, Ariana is not at all, in my opinion. Like she's insane. She's kind of retarded. Like she doesn't tell Cooper what the problem is. Cooper didn't ever ask her to like uproot her life or anything. He didn't say any of that. He just said, "We're rich." And she was like, "Fuck you, leave." And then, when he comes back, she's like, "Next time I kick you out, you figure it out and you apologize." It's like, you're retarded.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. All right, Matt, give us something.
So Dad, I guess Sam comes back to live with them in the house in Midland. So I think there's obviously an effort there by Tommy to try and have Dad live out the rest of his days in some sort of nice place. So there's that hanging out. We didn't really get a lot of development as to what's going on with MTEX, and I think we didn't talk about this. I don't want to belabor it, but the first scene is in episode 4 where the oil tanker just goes barreling through location. That was interesting. Which we know that ends up being an MTEX problem, but I think. Final thoughts were that was probably one of the slower, but I think still a pretty worthwhile episode, and I'm excited for what's to come. There's definitely a lot of questions in the air as to which way this thing goes.
That was a very nice, newly re-rocked location for a single wellhead and a tank battery. Flared back 15 feet away from the pump jack. Like that was a very well maintained location. Whoever did that, kudos.
So to Gates's point, though, the wreck was still a horrible montage scene to the Georgia satellites. So come on, Taylor. All right, Gates, you got a final thought?
I mean, I'm excited to see more development on the business front. Where the hell was Monty putting all of this money? Hopefully they own an oil field offshore in South America or something, and we get to see Tommy Norris go try to speak Spanish to a bunch of people and rough some dudes up in a cantina somewhere. But aside from that, they are finally actually developing the rest of the stories about the family history and all of that. I think they're spending a lot of time on that, but that's kind of Taylor Sheridan's, whole MO. He's going to continue to build on the story behind everything else that's happening. Meanwhile, we're all sitting here wondering what's actually going on with the company, aside from more people dying or almost dying.
I'll say this. I kind of alluded to it earlier. I actually was watching episode 4 on my plane back from Tulsa this morning, and I got a little teary when Tommy told the story of basically saving his mom's life, and then she went in and poured herself another cocktail. And I know Tommy's not fallen for the story from his dad about why he loved mom so much, but the whole thing about demons run faster than rainbows. I mean, that kind of got to me. So I was totally in on all that. I was a little weepy and ready for episode 5. So cool, guys. Well, everybody have a good weekend. I'm doing a holiday. I'm doing 2 holiday parties on Saturday. So tis the season.
We'll have fun. Enjoy the weekend for me. I can't do shit.
I'll be praying for all of you guys.
All right. Well,
Appreciate that.
I want Gates, your kiddos, to get to feeling better. Bor, I want you to get to feeling better, and so Matt and I will carry on for everybody this weekend.
Well, enjoy it, fellas.
Y'all have a good one.
Welcome to the oil business.
In the land of the Landman, where the drama is high, there are mountain series just reach for the sky. The actors were flawed, the twist was bold, but the plot got holes and got us feeling cold. Landman on the side, Landman logic seems to take a flight. Bury the lawyer with a secret agenda, the schemes and the betrayals will chill the offender. Jack the detective solving crimes with theories, but in reality he's just planting trees. Landman, know what to say, when reason and logic seem to take it alive. Laughing and plot twist on quite a screen. Oh, Landman, what a parody. Fans so hooked, with hopes so high, well, that's the episode. They went by and all the cliches grew, turning Landman into a comedic brew. Laughing and plot twist till quite a spree. Oh, Landman, what a parody. Yes, Landman with all its flaws, bringing us laughter and many guffaws.